Welcome to Reunite with Self Podcast. I'm your host, Ruken. Here, we will be discovering and unraveling what is truly holding you back. We will put the puzzle together and give you clarity on how and what you can do to create massive shift in your life so you start creating the life you always envisioned for yourself. There is no more waiting. Whether it is liberating from dysfunctional family patterns or parenting tools and tips that actually make the difference, we will be diving into the truth and core of things that are simple and which yet no one talks about. I will be sharing with you all the things that would have changed my life massively if I heard any one of these episodes. A new world is awakening, and true bliss, harmony, and peace is possible on this earth. And my mission is to bring you closer to that, one step at a time. In this safe space, I will hold your hand and give you courage and certainty that you can shift anything and everything in your life. It is time we break the pattern. Whether you want to be the parent you never had or make a shift in your life so you don't play small any longer, you will find the support and guidance in this space. My intention is for you to find answers within yourself while you listen to this podcast, so you feel the bliss of reuniting with your true essence, with self, with so much love and compassion and courage. From my heart to yours, let's keep it rockin'. My gorgeous listener, welcome to another episode on Reunite with Self. So happy that you are here. So grateful that you're tuning in to step 8. We're almost there. And these are so helpful for my journey right now as well. I'm so excited for this episode. As I've mentioned a couple of episodes ago, like whatever I'm sharing with you, whatever the step is that day, that week, it's divine timing for me as well. So excited. Let's get into it. If you've been listening to the 12-step journey from step 1, thank you for doing that. It's great. It's very helpful. You can always go back. Or if you're just clicking on this episode, I think it's divine timing. Listen to the full episode today and please go back and listen from step 1, like whenever you have the time. It will be very, very helpful for you to bring it all together. So step 8 of the 12-step journey of making it happen is, as we talk about the journey is never linear. So you've made a decision, you've started taking massive action, you're living life maybe completely differently now, you're exposing yourself to different things, and you are doing the things, you are being the things, you are maybe more conscious of your choices. And wherever you are in the journey of making that thing happen, you might be at the very beginning. This applies, or you might be in the journey, creating that thing, manifesting it, like you're actually living in it, and this applies as well. So today's tool is to remember, you are never stuck. There is always a way. There is always a way. And I'm going to talk about this in 3 parts. What that stuckness might be telling you, like why you might be having a stuckness at any point in the journey. And this would actually apply to like you feeling like there is stuckness in your life, in any area of your life as well. Like even if it's not, you're consciously in the journey of self-actualization, or you're just living your life and there is like stuckness in your life, this would apply as well immensely. So the first thing is that when we feel there is stuckness, this might look 2 things. It might look as the thing is not moving, like there is no progress. It's not really happening. You're taking the steps, maybe you're taking action, but it's not starting, taking off. Maybe it's not bringing you the income, or you haven't like built the structure yet. You haven't begun the journey yet. Or it might seem like you are on the path of creating that thing, or you are like living in it, and there's an obstacle. You're working on to create a system in the business. Maybe if we're thinking about business, you are having an obstacle. So the stuckness might look like you have an obstacle, or it might look as if like things are not moving. You might be feeling stuck as well, or you don't feel stuck. You're doing the things, you are being the things, you're taking the steps, you're taking action, but it's not moving. These two examples, both of them happened a lot in my life. So I want to talk both about this. So I believe that the obstacle or the stuckness might be universes or your guides or your higher selves or God or goddess, whatever you believe in. It might be the universe's push and support to maneuver you in the right direction, in the direction that will absolutely fulfill you. We hear this a lot, but I have experienced it consciously this time in my life in the last couple of years. And I saw how, like, miraculously it really applies. And when the universe pushes you this way, or it's actually supporting you while it may seem like you're having a great challenge, like you're really challenged emotionally as well. Why is this thing not working? Or, why can't I find this person to do this thing for me? Why haven't we started doing whatever? It might be that push and the support or the message or the symbol that asks you to maneuver so that you go in the direction that will absolutely fulfill you in the end. Because the final results that gives you the fulfillment might be a little different than what you are, or maybe very different from what you are thinking of how you want to do that thing. Like, I'm not talking about your like vision of your life. I'm not talking that it would look different. I am talking about one specific thing, like maybe your work, your business, one specific thing that you are doing, how it ends up, how the structure ends up being is our goal is to have fulfillment with our work, with our business, or the structure of it, or the systems in it. And when we start the path, we think of one structure, one system, one way of doing it, one way of how it would look and how it would work. But our soul, like deep down, our deepest why that we always talk about, that comes from the divine, like that deepest why, or that deepest passion to do it, your deepest urge to start something, that comes from the divine. But how we see it in like, not 3D, but how we structure it in our minds, like how we plan to do something or how we think that it will go, maybe that way is not going to serve us. It's not going to be the thing that will fulfill us. And because we know that deep down, like our subconscious as well, or you can say like your higher self or universe, because you are in the flow now, like you are happening now, that you get support as well. And that support doesn't always look like something miraculous or something exciting, because it can't happen that way. And maybe you don't get your lessons through that way either. So it might be a nudge that's, looking like an obstacle, or it's not happening, or, maybe you feel like, I hope you don't, but maybe you feel like you can't do it or whatever. maybe it might be the greatest support, because if it did happen in that moment, maybe it would be more easeful, more easy, more fast, but the result is more important. Like what comes out of it is more important for us. And our higher self knows this. That is the goal. Like if we are doing this from a soul level, what the ego says, it doesn't matter. At the end, it has to be a structure, something that truly fulfills us. Not just that it's successful, that it's adding value to our lives in different ways, but it has to be something that's fulfilling, so it's worth all that journey, all that push, all that staying like out of your comfort zone. And I took some notes here, so I don't want to miss anything. Oh yeah, and one great way, so if you feel any stuckness, or if you're having maybe repetitive obstacles in the path of doing something, starting something, creating something, or maybe taking it to the next level, if we are sensitive enough to just stay in our bodies, like stop for a second and consciously like realize what our emotions are and everything, but give ourselves a break, like a moment to feel safe in our nervous system first, that, we are safe, because with a regulated nervous system, it helps a lot to feel safe and grounded and know that everything will work out the way it should. Everything will, because you are now doing it from your heart, your soul. Now you're creating all the things like I talk about in the previous steps, like you've created the clarity, you're not accommodating nonsense anymore, you are not enabling any like narcissism or any of that stuff anymore. You are like truly on your path, but the path is not linear, and it's actually something that we can be grateful for. But in the moment of the obstacles, like we are human, so we are challenged. And it might seem as if something is not happening, or maybe someone in that scenario is creating problems, or, it's not the right fit for that position or whatever it is. And it's challenging for you because you want to move to the next steps, because you're working maybe so hard for it or whatever. I believe a good way to understand what's really happening, like what the universe is telling you, what the message is, because it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you feel stuck or something is not happening that you're not supposed to do that thing. I don't believe that. But when you are truly like starting this journey that we talk about, like truly self-actualization, where you are doing everything from your own energy and you are not enabling any kind of narcissistic behavior in your life, then you are truly in the flow, and what is happening are great symbols for you. Like they are things that you can use to see what's really working, or what it asks you to do or change or maneuver. A great way to understand this is that whatever you are creating, you can think of how you want to spend your day, like just how you want to spend your days. A day is 24 hours. Obviously, you're sleeping a part of it. And then like when you imagine like how you're feeling in your body, what you are doing day to day, like consistently, how you're spending your day. Where are you while you're working? Like, are you with people physically? Or I don't know, are you in your home office by yourself? Do you spend a lot of time on the computer, or do you, like that day to day? When you feel into it, like how you want to spend not the rest of your life, because it's just the beginning of something new, but how you want to spend your next couple of years, let's say, not months, but years, because it's more a commitment if you're creating something new. How you want to spend the next couple of years, like how do you want to feel in your body, and what does that entail physiologically, like how you're moving, what you are doing, what you're exposed to. Like even an astrologer told me this years ago, even like thinking about like where the sun hits you, like how you're, like what you're feeling in your skin, what time is it, like where are you, what do you have around you, whatever truly fulfills you can be a way to understand, is this the way to go or not? But this is only one example, by the way. Like in my own experience, only in the last couple of years, I had different experiences on this. And this only one question is not the answer to it, by the way. But it's just one of them that truly applies to my life right now as well. So I took this note to give you an example for. And when you think about this, you can think of like what lights you up. Or another question is that when you are going through your life, when you see something, what lights you up that you say, I can do this in a miraculous way. Like this is something I would do amazing. Maybe you see someone else do that thing and you feel like passionate about it, but it's not, maybe you think that you're not in that stage in your life. And maybe whatever is happening, it's stuck in your favor so that you can maneuver to that direction to accelerate that process. Because what you want in your head and what you're going through now, like while we are going through the journey, we are growing. I'm going to talk about this here, but it changes. What you want changes during that journey too, because you become during self-actualization, you actually get to know yourself deeply because you give yourself that permission now. Self-actualization journey is just giving yourself the permission and letting go of everything that doesn't serve you anymore. They never served you, but letting go of them for the first time. So you have the space and the capacity to self-actualize. And the more you do this, the more you experience this, you feel more compassion for yourself because you practice that compassion now. You treat yourself that you are worthy. So I'm not going to enable this narcissism or any narcissistic behavior. I am not going to accommodate things that make me feel smaller or play small or hide. I'm not going to let this anymore. I'm not going to say this is love or this has to be this, like it has to be this way or it is a part of life. I'm going to do things differently now. And in that journey, you start realizing that, oh, I can do this as well. And I can do that too because I am worthy, because it's not just like thinking that you are worthy, you are practicing it. And your brain starts believing that too because you start behaving that way. The relationship with yourself is so similar to a relationship you have with someone else because you are practicing that compassion now. It's not just something that you want to do, but you get to do it today. You start doing it. You start practicing it, although it may be challenging or scary or so new or so unknown. When maybe you're letting go of the feeling of belonging in a part of your family, maybe you're embracing now your authenticity and you're not you are not giving up on your authenticity to feel belonging, whereas you understand while you do that, you don't even feel that belonging. Actually, it's not, you don't even get that either. It's just a hope, but you don't get that belonging either. You don't belong to a place that makes you feel smaller, that asks you to play small. Otherwise, you're in danger in some kind of narcissistic behavior. So this is the first thing that I want to tell you. The obstacle, the stuckness might be the universe's push or support to maneuver you in the right direction that will absolutely fulfill you in the end. And the second thing is, what is the stuckness telling you? If the stuckness is happening while you are doing things truly from your heart, you're doing things in a new way, you're not enabling any of that narcissistic behavior anymore. So the conversation in your head is changing. Maybe like your subconscious, like you are changing things, you are seeing things, and you are doing things differently. And it's a brand new thing for your brain too. And it's not the same thing when you take the similar actions, or let's say it's like a group of actions. It's not the same thing when you take those groups of actions when you are exposing yourself to that narcissism. Whereas maybe you're doing those things when you are not, like you are consciously doing different things. Maybe you're doing things that to heal yourself in the meantime, and you're taking new steps and you are doing everything from your own energy now. Of course, there is always something to heal. Like it's going to be throughout our life, but we don't have to be fully healed to start getting the results that we want. You don't have to be healed fully, or you don't have to be doing things in the best possible way. You don't have to be doing things perfectly in the family circle as well. Like you don't have to be 100% not enabling narcissism. There will be moments you walk back into it, or you fall back into it a little bit, but you start getting out of it more quickly. You snap out of it more quickly. It's more different. And the way you talk to yourself after that is completely different. The conversation in your head is completely different. You are not fighting with that anymore. Like whatever is happening, you are not fighting back and forth. You understand, you truly understand what's happening. And you don't let that happen. Like you don't let that, affect you in a way that you're like sleepwalking and you're not even aware of it, and you're exposing yourself more and more into it. Like it's not like that anymore. But I want to say here too, like for you to get the results that you want that really fulfill you, you don't have to be fully healed from all the BS that has happened. It might actually just be you doing step 1 and 2 and 3. Like that's it. You don't have to be fully healed or doing everything so perfectly now. You don't have to figure it all out, healed all your wounds, and set up the best healthy boundaries. Like it's a process. You're going to get to it. You're going to get to it in time. Every other relationship is different. When we talk about like the family circle or even friendships or whatever, every different relationship is something different. It tells you something different, and you do it one by one. You can't see like, thank God, we don't see everything in just one day. All the relationships that we have, that what we have to do about them, and like it would be too much. But we do it step by step. You don't have to be fully healed to get out of stuckness or not to have like obstacles that stop you. I believe that when we are fully aligned with this, like with the clarity that, you know, we can differentiate now what is love and what is there is lack of love, where, you know, there is no love or whatever you call it. When we start living life from this in a more simple way, we don't enable any kind of narcissistic behavior anymore. We are fully in our journey, like we expose ourselves to different things now during the day. We live life from a different way. Like we still have the challenges. I'm not talking about this. I'm sure you understand what I mean. It's like a new life now. How we talk about like the line in the sand moment. It's like when you create that clarity, life is never going to be the same again. Never. Like never. There is no comparison. You're not sleepwalking through your life anymore. Like you are not like the puppet of narcissistic blah blah. You have started your journey. And I believe in that era of your life, if something is not working, it might be the biggest like support from the universe. But we have to be open to seeing it, like doing whatever we can, like giving all of ourselves to that thing, and then see what's happening. Is there anything that's changing? Are you getting any progress? So there would be two things, like either to change direction or to maneuver and to pivot. So what is the stuckness telling you? And it might be something that's different than what comes up when you are in a state of worry or, anxiety or something like that. And it doesn't mean that it's black and white. It might be just the way you do that thing might look different. And the third thing that I want to talk about is, what are some of the obstacles that are arising right now? If we're talking about the obstacles, there might be like repetitive obstacles in the same area of that thing. There might be something happening repetitive, and sometimes it's so magical that it's like the similar things happening back to back. And I believe the interesting thing is that when you are in your journey of this self-actualization, like from step one, like when you are in your journey, sometimes when obstacles come up, they don't actually worry you. Like if that is an experience for you now or in the future, if you feel calm when an obstacle is happening, it might be just you knowing deep down like everything is going to be more than fine. I'm on my path now, and this is going to take me to some place that will actually fulfill me at the end. And it's just support, like thank God, thank Goddess that this is happening right now. So it's the opportunity for me to make those changes to get me to that final picture of whatever it looks like. Because when we begin the journey, we know some things, we think of some things, but in that journey we grow. Like that journey itself grows us. We start becoming more of ourselves. Like when we are becoming more and more of ourselves, and it doesn't have to be this way, by the way, but I had two different examples, like where one was like really frustrating me and I had to do it differently. And then I realized that it was like, okay, whatever, like I'll just do it this way. And then it turned out to be like, I had to do it that way. Like the other way was never going to satisfy me. It was like unnecessary. The result, like, I would make more money like this. And also I would create more change like this. And I would feel more fulfilled like this. And it actually would require less work from me, like less. So that was an obstacle example. But another example is that you start, like there might be something happening or stuckness or obstacles in a repetitive way, but you don't feel worried. You feel calm. Like, it might be like a simple example might be whenever I have plans with someone or whenever I have plans, I don't know, to travel somewhere or something, if something comes up, I'm like, there has to be like a better plan for me. That's why this is not happening. I feel calm. This is a very simple example, but I feel calm because something is better. Something else will fulfill me now, and it's going to happen only this way. But, when you're in the journey, you don't feel, I don't want to say you don't feel frustrated. We feel all the feelings. I don't want to say that. But sometimes there comes a time that you are so hungry for more that you are willing to look at it in a different way, and like to really see deep down what it is telling you. You are not so much in the egoic part of it that it has to happen this way. And I believe that when we are more open to it that way, when we feel calm, and that means like your state is different. Your nervous system is like more regulated, or regulated more times during the day for you now, that the journey might accelerate because you start seeing what it's trying to tell you. And I believe in those moments that we start seeing, okay, I have to do it this way. And if it requires us to take a step, take action that requires courage from our part, like if it's something courageous, if I believe when we take that courageous action, things start moving fast, like faster than we can imagine. And things start falling into place, and you start getting more synchronicities. Like that is a way to see that you're actually doing the right thing. But it might require for you to like give up on the egoic way, not egoic way, but give up on the way of how you thought in the beginning of how it would pan out, how you would structure that thing. So, yeah. So, you're never stuck, and there is always a way. When you want something, when you are hungry for that thing, there is always a way. When you know your deepest why, there is always a way. I love you so much. I'll see you next week. My gorgeous listener, if you had any takeaways from this episode or from this podcast in general, I would love to know. Please share this episode with a few loved ones right now. You never know how they can benefit from something so small. And please take a screenshot of this episode and share on IG, tagging me at Khevella. That is Khewella. Khevella. That is my goddess wear brand, my Instagram page. I would love to know what your takeaway was, or something you found inspirational, or a confirmation you believe in as well. That would make my day. And you can always DM me if you have a topic or a certain question in mind that you want me to talk about. And give me a 5-star rating if you feel like it. That would help this podcast immensely to get the word out. I love you. See you on the next one. I want to see you shine your brightest.